Thoughts on the dwindling player base of Seraphine one tricks? I just don't know if that's true, is the answer to you. Like, Seraphine has like a 5% pick rate in support, which is like fairly high for her, especially historically. So I don't really know if Seraphine's popularity is dwindling, because when I look at like her history as a champion, she just seems to be, she's just historically been like a 5% pick rate champion, which is what she is right now, is a 5% pick rate champion. So I do think there's some players who aren't playing her as much in certain roles, right? Like AP carries and stuff like that. But the majority of Seraphine mains have always been support players. That's where Seraphine has been played the most for basically her entire release. Now, that doesn't mean AP carry Seraphine shouldn't be good or fun. Like, you know, if we have room to buff it, I think it's totally reasonable to buff it. But just kind of mentioning that, like, where Seraphine ideally should be balanced for is where her players are. And the vast majority of Seraphine players are support players. Again, doesn't mean AP carry Seraphine couldn't use buffs or whatever. But like, if you're coming in saying like, what do you think about the fact that no one plays Seraphine anymore? It's just like, well, the majority of Seraphine players are support players and they are still playing her. So I don't. Yeah. Zanderson, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Now that said, I do think Seraphine's a little weak right now, which is why I'm glad that we're buffing her. I was one of the folks that suggested we buff her. I was like, hey, we did these changes, and it gave us a lot of room, and she's probably kind of weak now, so can we give her some buffy buffs? And then Freak was like, yeah, that sounds sweet! Buff the AP ratios! So, like, we're buffing her because we think she's kind of weak, and so we're doing some follow-up to those changes we did. But I just, the comment that everybody has stopped playing Seraphine is just like, it is not based in reality. I'm sorry, it's just not. Now, if you're saying like, hey, Seraphine AP carry feels bad right now, and I'm a Seraphine AP carry main, and I don't feel like I can play it as much, like that's a comment. That's a reasonable comment. I think you're right. Seraphine AP carry does feel a lot worse. It was kind of an explicit goal of those changes to bring those two closer together though, because we need to balance her support players. But yeah, it's possible that Seraphine AP carry needs some buffs in the future. The hard part is Seraphine AP carry used to be like a 55-54% win rate bot laner, which made it really hard in terms of that was probably just legitimately overpowered. But on top of that, it also prevented us from buffing her for support, where the majority of her mains were. So it's mainly just this Seraphine's just historically been this very complex character where she has a small player base in the lane we balance her for, while having a large player base that is underpowered. And like, how do we manage those two things? And that is the challenge. Yeah. Thanks for streaming. I love hearing your perspective. I'm glad you enjoyed the stream. Thank you. I've been gone from streaming for like a month and a half, and a lot of people showed up today, which is honestly like very humbling. It's very good having you all here. Like I'm very surprised that so many people show up, even though I just take like insane breaks. For those of you who don't know, I got sick, very, very, very sick for like over a month. Sick enough where like if I tried to stream, I would like collapse trying to stream. I just had to sit in my bed for a month. It was a bad time. So I'm really glad that I can get back to streaming, and I'm really glad that y'all seem to enjoy it and a number of you came to watch. It makes me pretty happy, and to see so many people who care about and like League of Legends and want to talk about it. Could there be looked into the dodge penalty? They increased to -15 because of LP gain increase, but LP gains are reverted. So I can't give you perfect context on the dodge penalty, but I'll give you this. It is important that the dodge penalty be high. And I get that that's frustrating to hear, because you're like, what if I get an inter on my team? What if someone's holding the lobby hostage? What if someone's autofilled? There's a lot of very legitimate reasons why a player might want to dodge a game. So I get it. I get that it's frustrating when you feel like a game is unwinnable and you have to dodge. But it's incredibly important that the dodge penalty be high, because if it is not high, the optimization becomes to dodge any game that is even slightly looks like a loss, and you will gain MMR for doing that. And so when the dodge penalty is high, it becomes almost impossible to get into games, especially in high MMR, because anytime anybody sees anything slightly out of whack, they go, well, I can't win this, and they get out of there, right? So like, should you be able to dodge a new player like Kesha, who is literally going to run it down? Maybe that's like important. But what happens when the dodge penalty is low is people start being like, oh man, my jungler locked Briar and I'm in diamond and I think Briar's not viable up here, so I'm dodging. Or, oh, my AD carry picked Neela, but I don't like melee AD carries. We should have had Jinx because she's meta, so I'm dodging. And you get into this like pretty negative loop of every single lobby starts being dodged because players are trying to nickel and dime their percent win chance in the game based on champion picks, which is really, really bad for the game. Draft is part of League of Legends. It is part of the game, and optimization shouldn't be to be able to dodge most drafts that you don't think are correct. Some drafts are going to be bad, and it's on you as a player to figure out how to win, which again is different from I have an inter in the lobby, right? That sucks. That's something you should be able to dodge. Not saying that doesn't suck. Mainly just getting that, but like if dodge penalties are really low, the queuing and champion select experience starts getting really bad really fast because of how often people then just use it to optimize their win rate versus like inconvenient team comps. So yeah. Will this stream have a VOD? Yeah, I'll post the VOD. I think this has been a decent stream for a VOD. And by that I mean I didn't say anything that's going to give me stress and keep me up at night. One of the things I constantly have to deal with is there are people who aren't very nice who will go through my VODs and try to find things to clip out of context and make it look like I am evil or hate League of Legends players, which is true. I mean, if I didn't hate League of Legends players, then I never would have put Briar in the game, right? Like, she just runs at you and you die? Unfair. I get it. You know, people will do that thing and they'll be like, they'll like clip stuff out of context and they'll post it, and then like it just it's stressful. It gives me like a lot of anxiety to know that there are people out there combing through all my VODs for any like small thing that I say that can be taken out of context and like trying to put that stuff. So it is hard for me to post VODs because they quite straight up give me anxiety to post. But sometimes I post them. I think today I can handle posting the VOD. Today I think the VOD could go out there, and I won't have anxiety about it. I think I can do it, chat. So yeah, I'll post the VOD after the stream. I think I could try to post it now. I get a feeling that like VOD posting doesn't work though, unless the stream is. Yeah, I think I have to wait because it doesn't auto-publish. Oh well, we'll post it after the stream. Don't worry.